What's up everybody, Alejandro here. This is a video I've been wanting to make for quite some time now. I wanted to focus a video discussing James Earl Jones' portrayal of Darth Vader, particularly pertaining to how he voices him in The Empire Strikes Back. But first, I want to get a couple things out of the way, and I think a lot of you will agree. Not only is Darth Vader's voice one of the most recognizable movie character voices ever, but his voice is one of the reasons why Darth Vader is as iconic as he is. Finally, The Empire Strikes Back is the movie that catapulted Darth Vader into badassery. Okay, so how did Empire do this? Well, Empire is essentially Darth Vader's movie, and we get a really good look into who he is and what motivates him. We get to see him as this cool, smooth, and intelligent leader. We get all those scenes of Darth Vader force choking his crew members that fail him.
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
His epic lightsaber with Luke. The amazing reveal that he's Luke's father.
I am your father.
And of course we get to hear him say the most badass of lines. I mean, one of my favorite is this one.
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly?
No.
Good.
And this one.
Apology accepted, Captain Nida.
But the main reason I'm making this video is to discuss the uniqueness of the way that James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. In all the Star Wars media, at least that I've ever seen and heard, Vader's voice in The Empire Strikes Back is the most unique. And for me, the most iconic, badass, and just plain awesome. Here, let's listen to the way he speaks in Empire Strikes Back. I mean, really pay attention.
You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive.
Did you hear that? Let's listen to another one.
The Empire will compensate you if he dies.
Now let's listen to the way he speaks and sounds outside of Empire.
You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. I'm here to put you back on schedule. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am. The Death Star will be completed on schedule.
Can you make out the difference? Outside of Empire, whether it's James Earl Jones or not, Darth Vader's voice is kind of this deep, cold, robotic, but kind of monotone at the same time.
A small rebel force has penetrated the shield and landed on Endor.
He is this villain with this really deep and menacing voice, but it's not as spectacular as it is in Empire, or the way James Earl Jones does his voice in Empire. So then let's talk about the way Jones voices Vader in Empire. When I hear Darth Vader's voice in Empire, I hear this very unique voice that I never ever heard ever again. It's a voice that, now this is just a theory, but a voice that could only have come from the African American culture, spoken from the lips of an African American actor who hails from the South. I just described James Earl Jones. He's African American, so is his culture, and he hails from the South, hailing from Mississippi. But why do I say this? Listen again.
Calculate every possible destination along the last known trajectory.
That manner of speaking is rhythmic, musical.
Calrissian, take the princess and the Wookiee to my ship.
It kind of reminds me of, you ever heard of black preachers preach? Their talking is often indistinguishable from singing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's called whooping. W-H-O-O-P-I-N-G. Whooping. Listen.
Not only does it say, help me Holy Ghost, that we should be righteous in our deportment.
You hear kind of the similarities between Vader's voice and this whooping preacher?
Calrissian, take the princess and the Wookiee to my ship.
But besides that, Empire's Vader speaks in this really cool way where his words are like stretched out, or like, look, I don't really know how to describe it, but here, listen.
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly?
No.
Good.
Did you hear that? Like the exact same line spoken by Vader in, let's say, Return of the Jedi. Would have sounded probably something like, perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly? I don't know, his voice just sounds so much cooler in Empire. It's like that line to Calrissian was just kind of like a, yeah, I can tell you what I want, do what I want, say what I want, and then do something different, and you can't do anything about it, and you know that I know it. In that kind of way. That is badass. Okay, so I pointed out that Darth Vader spoke differently in Empire. So what? Well, I pointed it out for a few different reasons. I wanted to know if any of you all ever noticed this, and I also wanted to ask you all if you ever wondered why he spoke this way in Empire but never nowhere else. And like, why was it used in Empire? Nowhere else, just in Empire. Why? Again, I think a reason why Vader was such a badass was because of his voice in Empire. I mean, look, a lot of his quotable lines are from Empire. And before anybody responds with, well, Darth Vader isn't supposed to be black and that's why it was never used again. Come on, who cares? It's just the plain best Darth Vader voice, period.
With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict.
And by the way, I actually wrote James Earl Jones asking him about this. I asked him, what gave him the idea of speaking that way? Did it just come natural? Was it Irving Kershner or somebody else's idea? And why was it never used again, such as in Return of the Jedi or Rebels? And of course I asked him if I was correct in my theory for the origin of that manner of speaking, if it came from the African American culture, preaching, whooping, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I didn't get a response, but look, I'm not mad. Homie's up there in age and we're all lucky to still have him around. And he probably gets a crap ton of fan mail that he can't possibly get through. It is what it is. This to me is a mystery that's probably never gonna get solved. But what about you guys? What do you guys all think about this? Did you guys ever notice the unique voice that James Earl Jones uses in Empire? Do you even care? Am I just some wacko that's overanalyzing all this? Or maybe you think that his voice in Empire was the worst voice that Darth Vader's ever used. Please, let me know what you think down in the comments. I've been looking for somebody for years to discuss this with. Alright guys, that'll do it for this video. Make sure you hit the like button. And of course, if you're a geek like me and love geek stuff, subscribe. And of course, make sure you check out some more of my videos right now. Peace out.
Impressive. Most impressive. Apology accepted, Captain Nida. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Put him in.